As I just mentioned in another video, there have been reports that Kirkland and Ellis and Sullivan and Cromwell, in particular Sullivan and Cromwell and their global co-chair, Bob Giuffre, have been involved in kind of helping the Trump administration target these law firms by trying to poach clients. Bob Giuffre specifically, it was reported, was dialed into the meeting with Brad Karp, the chairman of Paul Weiss, when he went to the Trump administration to cut a deal. And Senator Richard Blumenthal asked about that at the hearing, or the shadow hearing that I was at, and I want to include that exchange. And I also want to be very clear that I would never, ever tell people off of TikTok to send Bob Giuffre emails, even though his email is online and public, and you could do that. But I would just personally not say to do that because I feel like someone would yell at me. So do not look up Bob Giuffre's email online and email him and ask him why he did that. Definitely don't do that.
And I'll tell you what strikes me as most abhorrent and repugnant, as reported in the New York Times, and Mr. Karp stated it. There were other law firms, and I'm quoting now from the New York Times of March 14th, some of the biggest competitors were calling top lawyers at the beleaguered law firm, one of the nation's most prestigious, asking if they would jump ship along with their lucrative clients. The firms are named Sullivan and Cromwell and Kirkland and Ellis. And Congressman Raskin and I are writing those two firms, along with the others, and asking them what they did to try to lure away those clients and partners, to try to poach their business and their resources. Most abhorrent to me is the potential that they acted in that way. Ms. Cohn, do you know of any specifics about attempts to take away lawyers or clients from either your firm or others that you may have heard?
Senator Blumenthal, I read the same report, and I think it's particularly ironic given that I'm also reading reports that Kirkland and Ellis is now in talks to acquiesce to the Trump administration in advance. So any clients thinking about jumping ship to any other law firm should remember that until they stand together, there's no chance that their new representation will be left alone either. But I will just say, I was a third-year associate when I left, and I wish you had someone more senior here to talk to you about this. But unfortunately, you do not, because the only people in this industry who have been willing to speak on this issue and give up their salaries in order to do so are associates, and I was not close to client work. But thank you for raising.
I apologize for going over my time. I'd ask that the Truth Social and the New York Times story that I quoted be entered in the record.
Without objection.